Hey guys, it's JStars360 here with my thoughts going into the Mr. Peabody and Sherman movie coming out in a week, I think. But yeah, I'm doing my thoughts going into it. Just a reminder, these aren't my review of the movie. This is just how the movie looks based on what I've seen in trailers going in. I could go into a movie and be completely wrong. That being said, let's go into this. So, Mr. Peabody and Sherman. This movie is based off of the popular cartoon that was was actually part of a much bigger cartoon, Rocky and Bullwinkle. It was a few-minute cartoon about this dog and a boy. Dog acts like a human, boy acts like a dog. And since the human's his pet, they had this time machine called the Wayback, and they just used it to go back in time, and they'd have like a short mini-adventure that would serve it as a version from Rocky and Bullwinkle. And you can probably find a bunch of you can find a bunch of them on YouTube. Check them out, they're pretty funny. So, this Peabody and Sherman movie. I've already done my thoughts on the trailer, so, again, go check that out if you want more, but, yeah, I am not looking forward to this movie. I mean, DreamWorks movies are a lot of there's some hits and misses. This one's looks mediocre. Now, to be fair, it's not that the movie's bad or anything. I mean, this is just your average kids movie. I mean, if you look at it. In fact, I'd be totally fine with it if it wasn't Peabody and Sherman. But what bothers me is they're taking this dumb, generic kids movie and they're just slapping Peabody and Sherman on in the hopes that people see it. That's what it feels like. Because this cartoon isn't staying true to the spirit of Peabody and Sherman. Part of the charm of Peabody and Sherman, number one, comes from the animation and style of humor from Peabody and Sherman, which is very obvious what I'm talking about if you watch the cartoons, and it's just not present. We get the DreamWorks style of humor, the DreamWorks style of animation. I'm sorry, but that's not why I love what makes Peabody and Sherman fun. I do want to say love because I'm not too big on them. Again, I haven't watched that many of them, but there's such a charm to them, and I don't see that here. Also, there's the humor. A lot of the humor comes from the fact that Mr. Peabody is a dog, yet he acts like a person, kind of like Brian from Family Guy. Except the funny part is that you have this human who basically acts like his pet, like Peabody. What is it, Mr. Peabody? What do we do? Okay. Like, even when there's a cartoon that's kind of serves as the pilot for the shorts, and it's so funny because it's like Peabody is acting like a person looking for a dog, like he wants a son, and the process and thought process he's going through when he's looking for a human to have is the same process a man would go through. Sorry, I have a runny nose, so forgive me if I do that a lot. I'll try to resist the urge. But it's the thought process someone goes through when they buy a dog, and it's so funny. Now, for those of you who are saying, well, it's going to be good because Rob Minkoff, the guy who directed The Lion King, is directing it, I have one thing to say for you. Director just means you oversee everything and call the shots. The real person you should focus on is the writer now. Actually, let me go on and look up who the writer of the film is real quick. But yeah, you should be more concerned with the writer of the film. Just because there's a director who directed some really good movies does not mean it'll be good. For example, Sam Raimi. I love his work on the first two Spider-Mans. But I was not a big fan of Oz the Great and Powerful, which he directed. It was alright, but I didn't really care for it. Chris Columbus directed Home Alone, and he directed the first two Harry Potters, which I love, but he also directed Lightning Thief, which sucked. Alright, so yeah, don't judge off director. Now, I'm looking up the writer real quick. There's one writer, it's Craig Wright. It has a 57 on Metacritic right now. I've never heard of any. He's written for. It's weird. The guy they're having writing it is a guy who's written for TV series a lot, so that might be a bit troublesome. Because you're bringing in a guy has no experience writing for film. He's only written for TV, and writing for film and TV are very different. Well, they're similar, but they're different in the sense that in terms of the length of the stories you have to write. So again, it'll be interesting. It might show in the film. I feel like what's going to happen is I'm going to see the plot dragged out because this guy's not used to writing for film and he doesn't know how to stretch out a story properly. But yeah, I digress. So, next problem is the girl. There's a girl named Penny in this movie who, at least I think her name's Penny. Why do you need to add her? Why? I mean, this is the kind of thing you add in the sequels when you run out of ideas. This make only two Ice Age sequels. I mean, the only reason I can think of is maybe they're afraid people see this. They want to get some girls to watch this movie, so they think, oh, if we have a girl in this movie, we'll get to watch it, which would make sense, except A, I don't think she's on the posters. I mean, you're mainly advertising Peabody and Sherman. You're not advertising this girl. And second, why do you think people really care that much about the gender of the protagonist? I mean, let me give you an example. I mean, different age group, but still. BBC Sherlock and Doctor Who. So many girls watch those shows, especially BBC Sherlock. Like, I swear, I have not found a single guy at my... Most of the people I know who watch Sherlock at my school are girls. And the show is about two dudes. There's nothing feminine about the show, but lots of girls really love it. So yeah, if you think you can just putting a girl in there will get female viewers, you're wrong. How to Train Your Dragon. Male protagonist. Lots of girls love it. So I don't see how you think this will get girls. And I swear, if that girl becomes a love interest for Sherman in the first movie, I mean, maybe if you put her in the sequel like Despicable Me 2, it would still be bad, but it would still be not as bad. But I swear, if they do that, I'm just going to groan. And here's what also bothers me. Apparently, right before Peabody and Sherman, they're going to do a Rocky and Bullwinkle short. A Rocky and Bullwinkle short and a Peabody and Sherman movie. That is so backwards. You should have a Peabody and Sherman short and a Rocky and Bullwinkle short. Like, why not make a Rocky and Bullwinkle movie? They're way more popular. And then if people like the Peabody and Sherman short, then you make a spin-off. And honestly, Rocky and Bullwinkle need a computer-animated film to redeem themselves from the awful live-action movie. But I swear, if the short they do is true to the spirit of the old-school Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoons, and this movie is not, I will be pissed off. So, will I go see this movie? So, is this movie going to be good? I doubt it. Again, it's already getting mixed reviews on Metacritic. Will I go see it? Not in theaters. I have no interest in seeing this in theaters. Plus, I don't want DreamWorks to get my money, so they'll make a sequel. How will this movie do at the box office? I think it'll do fine. I think it'll do all right. I don't think it'll bomb or anything. I mean, there's not really that much competition right now in the box office, and I mean, most people have seen the Lego Movie. They're the only animation coming out. Muppets might give them some competition, but I think they'll do okay. It won't be a hit, but I'm sure it'll make money. I mean, they did well with Croods last year, so I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, the real moneymaker is going to be How to Train Your Dragon 2, though, but that's for another video. Until then, this is JStar360 signing out.